Hello everyone, welcome back to our Spring Boot classes. In our previous classes we learned few modules in Spring Boot. Today we are going to learn few more modules. One of the module is Apache Kafka. So what is Apache Kafka? A Spring Kafka project applies core Spring concept to the development of Kafka based messaging solutions. If we want to send messages or receive messages, we will use Apache Kafka. It provides a template as a high level abstraction for sending messages. It also provides support for message-driven POJOs with Kafka listener annotations and a listener container. These libraries promote the use of dependency injection and declarative. In all of these use cases, you will see similarities to the JMS support to the Spring framework and RabbitMQ support in Spring AMQP. In previous class, we learned what is AMQP. So what are the main features for this Kafka? It provides Kafka template, Kafka message listener container, and Kafka listener, Kafka transaction manager, retrievable topics, Spring Kafka test, Kafka client and Spring Boot compatibility. These are the versions with the Spring Boot version which Kafka client and Kafka template is compatible. This is about high level in Spring Apache Kafka. Another module is Spring LDAP. Spring LDAP is library to simplify LDAP programming in Java, but it built on the same principles as Spring JDBC. The LDAP template class encapsulates all the plumbing work involved in the traditional LDAP programming, such as creating, looping through, naming enumerations, handling exceptions, and cleaning up resources. This leaves the programmer to handle the major important stuff: where to find data, DN, domain namespace, and filters, what to do with map to and from domain objects, bind, modify, unbind extra. In the same way that the JDBC template relieves the programmer of all about actual SQL and how the data maps to the domain model. In addition to this, Spring LDAP provides exception translation from naming exceptions to an unchecked exceptions hierarchy, as well as several utilities for working with filters, LDAP paths, and attributes. This about the Spring LDAP. Another module is Spring for Apache Pulsar. What it will do, Spring for Apache Pulsar, known as a Spring Pulsar project, applies core Spring concepts to the development of Pulsar based messaging solutions. It provides a template as a high level abstraction for sending messages. It also provides support for message driven POJOs with @Pulsar listener, annotations, and a listener container. You will see You will see similarities to the Apache Kafka support provided in the Spring of Apache Kafka project. What are the main features? Same like Kafka only. Pulsar template, listener, Pulsar reader, reactive Pulsar template, reactive Pulsar listener. This also what is the compatible features here we can see. These are the Pulsar document and we can see the compatible versions, how we can do this. This about the Spring for Apache Pulsar. What is Spring Shell? Spring Shell project can easily build a fully featured shell command line application by depending on the Spring Shell jars and adding their own commands which come as a methods on the Spring Beans. Creating command line applications can be useful. Interact with your project's REST API or to work with the local file content. Features. Spring Shell's features include a simple annotation-driven programming model to contribute custom commands, use of Spring Boot auto configuration functionality as the basis for a command plugin strategy, tab completion, colorization, and script execution, customization of command prompt, shell history, file name, handling of results and errors, integration with the Bean validation API, already built-in commands such as clear screen, gorgeous, help, exit, ASCII or tables with formatting, alignment, fancy borders, extra. So this about the Spring Shell module. Another module is Spring State Machine. This is a main important module. Spring State Machine is a framework for application developers to use state machines concept with Spring applications. Spring State Machine aims to provide following features: easy to use flat one-level state machine for simple use cases, hierarchical state machines structured to ace complex state configurations, state machine regions to provide even more complex state configurations, usage of triggers, transitions, guards, and actions, type safe configuration adapter, builder pattern for easy instantiation for use outside of Spring application context, receipts for usual use cases, distributed state machine based on Zookeeper, state machine event listeners, UML Eclipse REST modeling, store machine config in a persistent storage, Spring IOC integration to associate beans with a state machine. State machines are powerful because behavior is always guaranteed to be consistent, making it relatively easy to debug. This is because operational rules are written in stone. When the machine is started, the idea is that your application may exist a finite number of states and certain predefined triggers can take your application from one state to the next. Such triggers can be based on either events or timers. It is much easier to define high-level logic outside of your application and then rely on the state machine to manage state. You can interact with the state machine by sending an event listening for changes or simply request a current state. This is about the Spring State Machine. These are the couple of Spring modules which we learned today. One is Apache Kafka, LDAP, Apache Pulsar and Spring Shell, and one more is Spring State Machine. In our next class, we will learn other three modules under Spring Boot. After that, we will go through main modules in depth, how it will work and what are the simple examples. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day ahead.